We are taught a few things about capitalism. We're taught that it's a system that works, and we're taught that it's brought us prosperity, that capitalism creates prosperity. I am going to argue against that hypothesis tonight. 1. 2, I'm going to convince you that that hypothesis is wrong. 3, I'm going to do that in the next 5 or 10 seconds. Almost the entire world is capitalist, and almost the entire world is poor. There you are. I'm coming to this other thing that I'm using that the media usually doesn't use. It's called evidence. Look at the world. Most of the world is capitalist. There's capitalist Indonesia. It's miserably poor and getting poorer. There's capitalist India. There's capitalist Thailand, capitalist Nigeria, El Salvador, Haiti, Mexico, Brazil, capitalist Argentina, which is falling apart and unraveling, capitalist Russia, Poland, Bulgaria, privatization, third worldization. Poor, poor. The number of people living in poverty today is growing at a faster rate than the world's population. That is capitalism's expansion. That's capitalism's prosperity that it's bringing. Capitalism does not work quite well for the people in those countries. Now, that is also capitalism at its most successful, because capitalism in Indonesia works quite well for the capitalists. It's just the people aren't doing too well. Well, okay, gee, I hadn't thought of it. And we never think of those countries as being capitalist, too. Yeah, all right, doesn't work so well for the common people of those third world countries, but it's given us a good standard of living. Well, that, too, I'm going to refute. It's going to take maybe a little longer than 5 seconds, maybe 20, 25 seconds. Are you getting your money's worth or not, all right? In this country, let's put aside the mass inequalities. Let's put aside the tens of millions of people who struggle from hand to mouth. Let's put aside the many who live without real economic security, which might include many of us. Let's put aside the desperate ones at the very bottom. Let's even put aside the middle-class people who are getting ripped off left and right with their taxes and overworked and loss of benefits and the like. Let's put aside the impoverishment of the public sector and the destruction of a livable environment. Let's accept the idea that we live in great material abundance, which in fact, compared to much of the world, we do. Many in this country do live well. But it wasn't capitalism that gave us this standard of living. It was the democratic struggle against capitalism. They didn't give us all these things. I mean, why don't we Americans work for 15 cents an hour as they do in Haiti and Indonesia? Is it because we're just so much more self-respecting? Is that it? No. It's because the democratic class struggle has advanced to a more favorable level. And that's happened only in the last few generations. In 1900, America was a third world country, half a century before the term was invented. We were a third world nation. Child labor was widespread. Poverty was widespread. 14-hour workdays, 10-year-olds working in factories for 14 hours, 7 days a week. No social services to speak of. A few church soup kitchens and charities, maybe. No social benefits. Typhoid epidemics in our major cities. Tuberculosis and other diseases of poverty. No public housing or public health programs. Very little public education. No public libraries, really. Advances came not with capitalism, That condition, that's what capitalism gave us. That's what the country was. A pure, free market, unregulated, undiluted capitalism in 1900, but massive margins of profit, huge margins of profit, massive, massive, massive wealth for the Mellons and the Morgans and the Huntingtons and the Hartfords and the Rockefellers and the Carnegies and the Vanderbilts. More money than they knew what to do with. And you know what they wanted after they got that money? They wanted more, and they wanted more. And they would destroy whole communities to get more and more and more. Wealth, my friends, wealth is the most damaging and the most dangerous addiction that this society faces. It was the people, it was the American people, it was the working people in this country who fought and fought for the 8-hour day, who fought for public education, who fought for public health services. It was the people who fought for decent housing and a decent standard of living, who fought for a minimum wage, who fought against discrimination. Name one great leader, name one great political leader, name one great intellectual who fought and did those things. No, those people, they jumped on the bandwagon after the people fought. And it was the plutocrats, it was the capitalists, it was the economic royalists who fought against every one of those things. They fought against giving you a decent wage. They're still fighting against that. They're still fighting for wage cuts. They fought against Social Security. They fought against occupational safety. They're still fighting against it. They fought against environmental protections. They still are fighting against it and undermining it in every way they can because they're afraid they're going to lose out on a dollar. Because every dollar they've got to give to you, every dollar they've got to spend on stupid things like public safety and wages and occupational safety and consumer product safety, every dollar wasted on stupid things like that, which the free market would take care of. Every dollar spent on that is one less dollar for their insatiable greed. And that's it. So don't credit the capitalists for giving you whatever modicum of prosperity you have. We got it despite it. We tore it out of their teeth and out of their greedy claws. And we still got to hold on to it, and they're trying to get it back from us.
The people